All right, now Tourism Minister Mmamoloko Kubayi-Ngubane has extended her countrywide voyage called the Domestic Travel Activation Campaign to the Northern Cape this weekend. Tourism has, of course, been debilitated by COVID-19. She's hoping to help reignite the sector. Her ministry says she will engage with stakeholders to assess the impact of the pandemic. She will also visit various tourist attractions to encourage the sector to comply with regulations. Well, the Minister joining us now. Minister, thank you for being with us. It looks like the sun is about to go down in the Northern Cape. You're on a mission to show South Africa our own hidden gems, and I guess this is a chance to talk about the Northern Cape. Tell us what you've seen so far.
No, good evening, Francis, and good evening to SABC viewers. Indeed, we are in the Northern Cape, in Upington specifically. Right now, we are at one of the restaurants which is sitting in the riverbank. It's called the Red Ox. We've been to the Kalahari Transfrontier in terms of the game drive, where we've gone to be able to see what is happening. This is a game drive, Kalahari Game Transfrontier Game Park. It's actually a game park that includes South Africa. It includes Botswana, and you also have access to Namibia. So when you get into the South African gate, you see game drive, and then you do the drive, but you can be able to stamp your passport at that entrance of the game drive, where you would end up either in Botswana or you end up either in Namibia. This is one of the biggest and beautiful sites for anyone to be able to see. We always say that one of the provinces that is not well visited is Northern Cape. Many people do not know about Northern Cape, don't know about the facilities. They've got quite beautiful scenes. We'll be able to show you as we conclude where we are and what you can do during the game, the river dinner. Like, for example, some of the guys who are going on the river bank to be able to have dinner there. We've got beautiful facilities. We've been able to showcase even on our social media in terms of the activities. This is the home of the indigenous people, the Khoisan, where they've got quite a number of attractions that you'll be able to see in the province. Tomorrow, we are going to Okhrabis, which is a beautiful waterfall with the heavy rains that have come through. We are able to see the beauty of what Northern Cape has to offer. And many of our domestic travelers have not been able to explore Northern Cape. And we are hoping, as we showcase the Northern Cape, they will be able to come and explore it.
Minister, what are the industry players telling you about their experiences, and what are you noticing in terms of compliance around COVID-19 as well?
Compliance level are high. I've seen facilities, because most of the tourism establishments know the pain of not operating. They're really working very hard to ensure that we do not become the spreaders of the COVID-19 pandemic, but also they are trying their best to make sure that people can feel comfortable. One of the feedback I got was around the Tourism Relief Fund, where the stakeholder says they battled with application because, one, they have no access to internet, and therefore, because we did the application processes online, it became difficult. But certain things that I've picked up with the tourism sector, especially the SMEs, what we would need to go and do as the department is to drive the issues around SMME empowerment, how to comply in terms of the laws, to get your tax in order, to get your BE certificate in order. And that's the feedback that we are getting, that some of them are running businesses, are doing their best, but they have no clue how to get the compliance into place so that when opportunities exist from government, they are able to benefit because they find themselves not being able to comply.
So Minister, can your department help? Because we hear this over and over again, that people can't access the funds that were meant for them, for relief, and there's red tape and they don't know how to get around it. Can your ministry help?
We will definitely work together with the provincial government in terms of the department responsible for tourism and MEC for slow. We've spoke about this. We will definitely, as the department, do a specific training, because we do those trainings for SMME. What we normally do, we do them generically. We open for everybody to be able to apply across the country. Having looked at Northern Cape and having identified that part of the challenge is access of information. So what we have committed is to be able to come into Northern Cape as the national department and perhaps partner with Minister Nchabeni, as we've been doing on other programs, to bring such a training. So I have committed to doing that. I will be coming back either myself or the department, just to come and do those SMME trainings, but we'll bring the facilities to them within this financial year.
Yeah, maybe even a chatbot or a hotline that people can call. Minister, overall, before we let you go, I mean, your efforts are laudable, but given what has happened to tourism, jobs lost, small businesses closed down, numbers down, we just looked at Robben Island, down 90%, and who knows when those international tourists will come back if we don't speed up the vaccination program. How are you feeling? Can the sector really be reignited in South Africa?
The sector can be reignited. The issue is the period is going to take to reignite it. If we want the numbers to go back to 2019, for domestic, it's possible we will be able to surpass that number based on the work that we've been doing. I mean, as I'm saying, when I was in Kgalagadi, I asked them in terms of the numbers, and they were able to give me that they are seeing between 70 and 80% in terms of arrivals of domestic tourism activities compared to previously. But obviously, this is in the backdrop of a drop in terms of international market. Now, for domestic, we are seeing the increase, but for international, we are looking at least having a sizable number or a huge increase that we're looking at that will give us a relief in 2023. We'll still battle this year, but we think that the domestic tourism will carry us until 2022 so that we can be able to receive the international travelers. Obviously, the vaccine rollout becomes one of the enablers in terms of building confidence in our sector and in the economy and our country for travelers to feel comfortable in coming to South Africa. So the briefings by Minister Mkhize have been very helpful because we take those clips and give them and send them to our international partners so that they can be able to assist. In this month of March, I'm kickstarting my work in terms of international engagements. We'll start with ITB next week, engaging sectors, media in the global space to explain the case of South Africa, and we'll do, based on our source markets, engagement with those stakeholders. So we're now comfortable in terms of the work that we have started in domestic that it will be able to carry the country. And then now it's time for us to move into the space in international, firstly to clarify the position around and how we are dealing with the variant in the country and what it means, to also give an update in terms of our vaccine rollout and what we are doing to safeguard based on the norms and standards that we are putting in place for the tourism sector, for an international traveler to be comfortable, for the countries to open and not close South Africa out. And that's the work we'll be doing in the coming weeks.
But Minister, even for domestic tourism, what about the potential of a third wave? You were addressing that this week. And we know that it could be devastating for tourism. What is government being told right now? What are you preparing for in terms of a possible third wave?
Yes, as you know, Minister Mkhize as well, together with Professor Karim, have been out to say we are expecting a third wave. We've anticipated that, and that's the message I'm sending to the tourism sector. What we are looking at, hence this campaign, is focus on us being able to capture the audience and getting South Africans to get out and enjoy the tourism sector in terms of our Easter holidays. So our target is to say to South Africans, have you booked your holiday for Easter? And if you haven't, these are the attractions that you can do. That's the first thing. So we are getting the sector to at least let's benefit while we are in level 1, because we are cognizant that we are going to go back to level 2, to other levels in terms of restrictions once in terms of the third wave hits us. Now, when we get there, we will be able to, again, the way we have done previously, look based on the numbers that are increasing, the advices from the health team, whether we move to which level, and then we'll start, because now we've learned how to balance between all the subsectors in the tourism sector, and we'll engage with the stakeholders so that whatever the restrictions that come do not completely shut down the tourism sector. I think from an economic point of view, we are very clear that a complete shutdown can never be afforded by South Africa right now. And that's the message we are carrying as we go to our discussions in Cabinet and in NCCC to say, we do understand that there will be a need for restriction, but we can't afford a complete shutdown of the tourism sector, because if we do that, we'll not be able to survive.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you very much for your time, Minister. Maybe you can show us that river scene before we let you go. This is a restaurant. The Minister is visiting in Uppington, and the sun about to go down. Let's see if they can move that camera for us. She said there will be a meal. Ah, beautiful. All right, that's the riverfront there in Uppington in the Northern Cape. That was Tourism Minister Mmamoloko Kubayi-Ngubane.